So I want to do a quick video just to kind of give my stance on all of the critics, because I recently, in just the past several weeks, now all of a sudden I have thousands of followers and all this and all that. I don't care about any of that. If everybody unfollowed me today, my life would be the same. Other than I probably wouldn't have as many people calling me stupid, telling me I'm a shill, a mason, that I should drink bleach, not procreate, be put in prison, all these different things just because these internet gangsters and keyboard cowboys disagree with me, from all sides, not just from the globe proponent side or the flat earth side, but from the religious side of things. And I don't believe in religion at all, to clear that up. I think religion is poisonous, it's terrible, and unfortunately way too many people are religious and they don't even know it. So I'm always going to point to Jesus. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through him. I will proclaim him with my mouth, I will believe in him with my heart, and I will exhibit him with my actions to the best of my ability until the day I take my last breath and stand before him. That's where I stand. For everyone calling me a gatekeeper and a shield that considers themselves a believer and a truther, you are not either one of those things. Well, you may be a believer, but you are not exhibiting the fruit of the Spirit. And you're definitely not a truther. You are an internet gangster or a keyboard cowboy who consumes social media like TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, X Live, all these different social media platforms. You consume material through a screen, whether it be a phone, a computer, or a TV, and you formulate your truth off of that. Your truth off of that. That is not truth. That is not being a true researcher. That is being a puppet led by a screen, which is exactly what we all were when we were watching TV and believing in the globe model and outer space and politics and all of that. When we were following mainstream media and we believed that planes flew into the Twin Towers and that Muslims pulled that off, so we should go kill Muslims. It's ridiculous. It's programming at its finest. It works just as well through your phone screen from TikTok or YouTube or Facebook or any of that as it does through a TV screen from mainstream media. Real researchers go out into the world and do real research. They dig and dig and dig, and they're patient until they feel like they have enough information to make an informed decision. They don't go off of edited videos before having all of the information. I pray that I never stand before a judge who judges me before he's seen all the evidence, ever. And that's what a lot of you are doing. You are casting judgment and defaming and slandering and being just straight up mean before you have even investigated all of the evidence, and you can't say you have because it's not even all out yet. So just stop. Now, if you want to slander me and call me all kinds of names and base all of your so-called truth knowledge off of what comes across a phone screen, a computer screen, or a TV screen from social media content creators, then please delete me, unfollow me, unfriend me, because you are not a truther and you're not exhibiting the fruit of the Spirit if you call yourself a believer. You're just not. You are a religious nut. And I don't want anything to do with religion or religious nuts. I will wipe the dust from my feet with you and move on. I don't care to argue or debate or defend myself in comments. And I'm not running from you. You're not smarter than me because I don't defend myself in comments, because I don't allow you to continue to comment. I'm not censoring you. When I shut off comments to a post, I shut it off because I don't want to be a part of that kind of slanderous nonsense toxicity. That's not Christ-like. And I'm all about Jesus. I'm always going to point people to Jesus no matter what. So for all the critics out there, keep criticizing. Keep saying, oh, you want your model to be true. It's not my model. I don't want it to be true. All I've done is take biblical descriptions and create a very rudimentary prototype model off of those biblical descriptions, and then have been able to show how that accounts for the phenomena of the lights in the ceiling. Is it perfect? No. Do I know how to improve it? Yes. Does that take time and money? Yes. Have I ever asked for money or received money? No. Well, I did receive some money recently. One person was very adamant about sending me money so that I could get a dome to another person to further this research. So I did accept that. It's the first time I've ever accepted any money, and that money is put aside for that specific reason, and that's where it's going to go. But other than that, I don't. I did monetize my Facebook because it said, hey, monetize your Facebook. I was like, let's see how this works. I think I've earned $1 in a month since I've done that. I just really did it to see how it works. So if anybody wants that $1, by the way, I'll send it to you. No big deal. Wow, a whole $1. I'm getting rich over here off of flat Earth. It really benefits me to be a flat earther, or a biblical cosmologist is what I call it. There's a distinction between flat earth and biblical cosmology. I am a biblical cosmologist. I believe the scriptures. I believe Jesus. I point to Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through him. I point to his teachings of love, mercy, grace, forgiveness, kindness, empathy, compassion, long-suffering, all those things that are good. And I'm against slander. I'm against hate. I'm against grudges. I'm against all the things that go against his teachings for us as believers. Stephen did not throw the stones back at his accusers. He prayed and said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. And for all of you internet gangsters and keyboard cowboys, especially those who call themselves believers, that are trying to crucify other men who also claim to be believers and pursuing truth, you are the people crying out, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him. And you should really check yourselves. Now that I've addressed the craziness, the real truth is there is a lot less craziness out there than there are people who are mature and intelligent and really true researchers pursuing truth. Even ones who don't believe in Jesus and who aren't biblical cosmologists. And for everyone putting their faith in me or this model, stop it. Don't do that. I am a wretched, wicked sinner, just like any other man. There's nothing good about me. The only good that comes from me is because of Jesus. He is good. So when you see any good come out of me, it's from him. When you see bad and negative come out of me, that's from me. That's my flesh. That's what Jesus came and died for. And I accept his sacrifice for me. And because he has sacrificed so much for me and forgiven me of so much and has been so graceful to me, that's what I'm going to extend to others. So for everyone who wants to call me names and ridicule me in comments and say all this silly stuff like, I want my model to be true. It's not my model. It's a biblical representation. It's a model of the sky based on the biblical description that just happens to show the phenomena that we see in reality, up to and including the Antarctic 24-hour sun. Is it perfect? No. Do I know how to improve it now? Yes. Do I ascribe to this as the perfect version? No, I do not. All I'm doing is showing proof of concept for biblical cosmology. That's it. I'm not making positive claims. I'm showing proof of concept based on biblical cosmological principles and what we know of as real science. And they fit together and they show the lights in the ceiling phenomenon quite well at this point. I've already ordered stuff to make it better. It takes time, it takes money, As you can see all my cameras, lasers, Tesla coils, domes, mirrors, different light sources, little things I've made to run tests with, projectors, sextants, telescopes, mounts, all that stuff. None of that has been supplied to me. None of that funding has come from any outside source. It's all come from me. And I've never asked for a dime in return, and I never will. It's not about money. It's not about me. It's not about recognition. It's about Jesus and pointing to him and his truth and how he says this whole system works. That's what it's always about. He's the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but through him. I will stand on that until the day I take my last breath and stand before him. So, for all the haters out there, for all the people who just want to come and slander in the comments and make all kinds of really stupid, ignorant comments based in emotion and ignorance, based off of consuming what you saw come across a screen, whether it's a telephone, a computer, or a TV, and you haven't done any actual real research yourself. Consuming content off of screens is not research. You're delusional if you think it is, and that's just a simple truth. I hold no grudges against you. I'm just telling you like it is. Matter of fact, I pray for all of you, and I'm not saying that to virtue signal or anything. I spend quite a bit of time in prayer for all the nations and all the people of this world, because that's what I'm commanded to do. That's how I'm commanded to act, so that's what I do. But I will say that if you feel the need to slander me and make all these fallacious comments online, you don't know me, you've never met me in real life, and you're going to do that, you have mental issues that you need to work out. So until you have worked those out, please delete me, unfollow me, unfriend me, whatever, get your peace back, however you need to do it. Because I'm not going to respond to you, and I don't need to respond to you, and I'm not going to entertain that psychosis. I'm just not. And if you call yourself a believer, you are operating in religion, not relationship. And there's a huge difference. Religion is evil, it's wicked, and it's done nothing but cause really bad things in this world. And modern churchianity is religion. Jesus did not teach that. He taught relationship, not religion. Again, I don't care if the world accepts this model or not. I'm not in it for that. I'm only in it to understand and know truth. And Jesus is truth. And I'm going to keep pursuing him like I have for many years. I hear his voice. He speaks to me. Call me crazy. I don't care. He says that in his word, that my sheep will hear my voice and they will listen. And that's what I do. And I've really been able to hear his voice stronger and stronger. The longer I'm in relationship with him, the more clear and evident it is. And I stand on that, and I will always stand on that, and I will always point to Jesus over myself. None of this has anything to do with me. Again, I am a wretched, wicked sinner, the chief of sinners. The only thing good that comes out of me is because of Jesus, and that will always be the case. For all the people who support, whether you're a believer, a biblical cosmologist, a flat earther, you're not any of those things, I would say thank you for your maturity. Thank you for your support. And I'm not talking financial support. I'm just talking about encouraging words where you may say something like, hey, I don't agree with you, but at least you're trying to model it physically, which is more than I can say for tons of other people, stuff like that. You know, it's nice to hear those things when quite often what you hear is drink bleach, don't procreate, you deserve to be in jail, you're an idiot, you're a dummy, you're a shill, you're a gatekeeper, you're an apologist for wicked men. All this crazy nonsense is just wild. So the support actually does, in my opinion, outweigh the criticisms, although the criticisms are often louder because our minds tend to focus on that. I don't. I'm addressing it this right now because it's gotten kind of wild over the past couple of weeks. People, especially with people who have supposedly been following me for a long time and have said, oh, he's being led by the Lord. Now all of a sudden I'm a shill and a Mason just because I think that Austin Whitsitt is telling the truth, that they really saw a 24-hour sun. I think Jaron's telling the truth, that they really went to Antarctica and they saw a 24-hour sun. That Lisbeth is telling the truth, that they went to Antarctica and they saw a 24-hour sun. That Will Duffy, although he thinks lying is okay and deceiving is okay and that it's not inherently immoral, that when he says they saw a 24-hour sun and they were in Antarctica, he's telling the truth. That McToon, when he says they were in Antarctica and they saw a 24-hour sun, that he's telling the truth. That Dave McKeegan is telling the truth about that. That's where I stand. I believe it's actually predicted by the biblical cosmological model. That's what I believe. I actually showed that 3 months ago with this type of setup, and 5 months ago with a different type of setup where I didn't understand it and was explaining it improperly. Therefore, I was causing confusion and people couldn't see or understand. So I deleted all that. But 3 months ago, you can go find my first demonstration with the superfluid sealing added in, and it works very similarly. Not as good because I didn't have it as precise at that point. But I believe the biblical cosmological model actually predicts the apparent sun and the 24-hour sun, north and south, at different times of year. That's what I believe. I believe the model shows that. This physical version of that modeling shows that. So that's where I stand. I point to Jesus, always have, always will. I tried my best to operate in what he teaches, and that's to be loving and compassionate and forgiving, not slanderous, not even to my enemies, that I should bless my enemies, should bless those who curse me. I should forgive those who wish me harm or try to bear false witness against me, that vengeance is not mine, that vengeance is the Lord's, that it's my job to forgive and to love and to be compassionate and long-suffering and forgiving and blessing, and that's what I'm going to do. For all the people who are supportive, thank you so much. You don't go unnoticed. For all those who are internet gangsters and keyboard cowboys, delete me, unfriend me, unfollow me. If that's really how you feel, and you think I'm a Mason or a shill or an apologist for liars or a gatekeeper or any of that, please delete me. Please unfollow me, please unfriend me, please block me. Simple as that. When I have globe proponents who come on and do that, I block them immediately. I don't care to entertain what I consider ignorance. So that's a mental illness, to entertain what you consider ignorance. It's actually foolishness according to Scripture. Gonna kind of leave it at that. Really pray that Jesus finds his way into the hearts of everyone who is being caught up in this kind of just toxic meanness, I guess is a good way to put it. That's my prayer. I really just pray that we all learn to operate in the fruit of the Spirit and what that means. And it definitely does not mean speaking slanderous words over other people at all, period. And it's definitely not talking about consuming content that comes through a screen and calling that truth and calling that research. That's not it. I love you all. I really do. I mean that 100%. I think God is raising up certain people in this time. He's playing three-dimensional chess while everybody else is playing checkers. I truly believe Austin Whitsitt is one of those people. Do I have to agree theologically about everything that Austin thinks, theologically speaking? No. Jesus is going to be very forgiving where we get theology wrong. He's not going to be so forgiving where we get loving one another and forgiving one another wrong. He tells us that quite clearly, that those are the keys to the kingdom, forgiveness and love. So, do I have to agree theologically with every other man? No. But do I believe 100% that Austin sees Jesus as the Messiah, as the way, the truth, and the life, and that he is pursuing a relationship with him? Absolutely. Do I personally think he's got a lot of room to grow in that area? Absolutely. Would he say the same about me? Probably, and that's fine. We don't fight each other over that. We both understand that we can be at different mile markers on that narrow path, and that if we veer off of that path, because Jesus loves us, he's going to correct us and put us back onto that path and keep us on that narrow path. The wide path that leads to destruction is the one that is double-minded, with itchy ears, stacking up teachers for itself, and creating a God in its own image instead of worshiping the true God, the true Creator, and his Son Jesus, the Messiah, who died for us and rose for us to forgive us so that we could have relationship. That's where I stand, so everybody knows it. If you disagree, that's fine. I don't care. I really don't. God is raising up men right now to proclaim his truth loudly on platforms that we have not seen before, that are going to reach the masses and force the masses to make a decision to choose the kingdom of light or the kingdom of darkness. There's not going to be any fence sitting. As a matter of fact, there never has been. If you're sitting on the fence, you're choosing darkness. There's the kingdom of light and there's the kingdom of darkness. This world is going to hate those. This world is going to hate those that speak truth, because it hated Jesus, and Jesus was the truth. And those who truly speak truth speak of Jesus as the Messiah, as our mediator, as our sacrifice that allows us relationship. Men like Austin are being raised up to those platforms to proclaim the truth. Does that mean they are perfect? No, they're not. In fact, it means they have humbled themselves and they realize they're not perfect and they're just trusting Jesus. I think another one is Wesley Huff. He's being raised up as a great apologist for the scriptures in these last days, which I believe we're in the last days. I don't care if people don't believe that. It doesn't bother me. Anyway, I don't want my model to be true. It's not my model. It's a physical version of the biblical description that I put together that does account for the phenomena of the lights in the ceiling and does so quite well. Does it need improvement? Yes, I'm going to continue to improve on it. Have I made any money off of it? No. Do I make money off of it? No. Do I care to make money off of it? No. Never have. It's never been the point. So you can make all the crazy accusations you want. Just go make them somewhere else, because it's mental illness to attack somebody online that you don't know and have never met in real life. That's mental illness. It's clinginess too. It shows that, you were clinging to everything I said, and then all of a sudden I say something you don't like, and then now I'm your enemy. That's narcissism, that's ego, that's pride. It's weird, and I disavow. I completely disavow. So other than that, John 14:6, John 3:16 and 17, Proverbs 25:2, Proverbs 4:7, 1 Peter 3:15, Jeremiah 33:3, Romans 8:28, Romans 8:18, 1 John 1:9, 2 Timothy 1:7, James 1:27. Go look up all those verses and you're going to know that pursuing knowledge and truth is the greatest thing. Relationship with Jesus is the greatest thing. 1 Corinthians 13 is also a good one. It teaches you what the fruit of the Spirit is and how you should act as someone who bears that fruit, and how you shouldn't act. So I wish everyone the best, but I will say, if you're an internet gangster, a keyboard cowboy who has no body of work, and your idea of research is watching content that's been created specifically for likes and clicks, and you think that is truth, then keep pursuing that. Just leave me out of it. I wish you the best, but leave me out of it. And if you feel the need to attack other people that you don't know and you've never met because you disagree with them online, you have a mental illness and you need help. You're no better than the glow proponents who do the same thing. So, for everyone who's been supportive and been awesome, whether you're a believer or not a believer, whether you're a biblical cosmologist or not a biblical cosmologist, you guys are awesome. Keep pursuing truth. You're in my prayers. Even those who have spoken very negatively against me and just outright slandered me, you're in my prayers. However, I don't care to hear your comments. I'm not going to debate with you. You're irrelevant. You are someone who is trying to be relevant when you have no body of work of your own. All you have is internet videos created by other men and women that you stand on as truth. And that is programming. That is not truth. No different than watching the mainstream media on your TV and believing what they tell you. It's no different. Until you have your own body of work and you put the time and effort and money in, and you can provide that body of work to defend your positions, and you're not just providing TikTok videos and YouTube videos as hit pieces to defend your position, then we'll talk. Until then, do you, leave me out of it, and leave the rest of us out of it, because we're actually doing real research and pursuing real truth. And for all those who are in that boat of doing real research and staying open-minded and pursuing real truth, keep it up. Keep supporting other people in the community that are doing that. Keep being patient and waiting on all the information before making a condemning judgment. Keep doing the good things that have led to the discovery of truth that we've gotten to this point. Again, don't follow models. Don't fall into the trap of models. I know that sounds weird coming from a guy who is creating a model. I create the model for proof of concept, not for actual hardcore, this is how it is type of deal. Only that the scriptures say this particular description, this is how I put that description together, and when I test putting that description together in a physical manner, I can physically represent in demonstrations the phenomena that we see with the lights in the ceiling above us. That's my claim. I will stand by that. I will stand by Jesus until the day I take my last breath and stand with him. And I say this sincerely. God bless you all. Number 6, 24 through 26 is the prayer I would leave everyone with.